Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. Today we're going to be doing the content list for the Black History Month update. So of course the update is all now live, everything's finished, we've seen everything, we've got everything. So let's get into the content list where we'll discuss each and everything new thing that we got in this update. This does not include returning items. So anything that's not on this list that you may have got in this update is a returning item. Anyway, moving on. So we got all these characters here. So in total we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 characters. So yeah, a fair amount of characters. Now in terms of like my overall opinions of the characters we got, I think it's kind of a meh, it's a meta good, if I'm gonna put like a rating to it, I guess. Maybe a solid 6 out of 10 for characters, I think. It's just a little better than meh. I think my favourite characters are, well, I'll talk about my favourite characters in a bit. Let's go through them. So of course we've got Clarissa Wellington, Opal, Abraham Simpson the First, Bully Boss, Virgil Simpson is here, Hibbert's father, Stoggy, the Patriarch, and Mabel Simpson. Out of my favourite characters, I would have to say Abraham Simpson the First is I guess sort of there. He's my runner-up. But my favourite characters are Virgil Simpson, Mabel Simpson, Patriarch, and kind of Hibbert's father too. I would say Hibbert's father, Abraham Simpson the First, Virgil, Mabel, and the Patriarch are my takeaway. I would say that they're definitely good characters. I think probably Clarissa and Stoggy are mess, and Opal and Bully Boss are probably like my least favourite because they're just quite two-dimensional and generic and not amazing. But I don't think they're terrible. I don't think they're terrible characters. So yeah, those are the characters. Then we have buildings. Now this update was a little underwhelming in terms of buildings. We only got these 5, and one of which I really don't understand. So I have this thing where I honestly believe the Canadian border should be a decoration, and the circus we got in Act 4 should be a building, because it makes more sense for the building to be the circus to be a building than it does this. This is a landmark, so to speak. It's a decoration. This does not earn cash. How could this earn cash? It's not like there's a booth on the border. It doesn't make any sense to why it makes cash. The Welcome to Canada sign that we have in the game, which obviously that's a toll booth, so it makes it sort of makes sense why you would get cash from that, but this doesn't. Whereas the traveling circus, that makes perfect sense why it would earn cash. It's a traveling circus, of course it would. So that's just a kind of minor complaint I have. But moving on, so of course we've got the Canadian border in Act 4. But here we have the Creatious Park, the Moving On, Hard Lad Nightclub, and the Mega Church. Now, honestly, Hard Lad Nightclub, Mega Church, I like these buildings. These are my 2 favourite. I would say the Canadian border is a bit meh. It's going to be incredibly difficult to decorate that properly. Moving On is okay, I guess. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's nothing special. Also, its placement in this update is really odd because it's a future building and it came with Hibbert's father, and I just don't understand why it came with Hibbert's father. It doesn't make any sense why it does. Also, the Creatious Park doesn't make any sense why it was added in there. I know they try and loosely, tie it in, but regardless, it doesn't to me. It just feels odd and out of place. I love the Mega Church though. I think it looks cool as hell, and the Hard Lad is pretty cool, although it is scaled a little weirdly. I would like it to be a bit bigger, considering if you put it next to an actual Hard Lad, it kind of feels like it should be bigger. So yeah, that's my general view of the buildings. Just because of the lack of it, I would have to say it's kind of bad on buildings, this update. This update is a little lacking in buildings, and the buildings that we do have aren't all great, so I think they all have their flaws, apart from maybe the Mega Church. I think Mega Church, there's an argument it could be a tiny bit bigger, but I think it's a fair size. So I think probably, I would say, Virgil is my favourite character, and the Mega Church is my favourite building. Then we got building skin. This is the second update where we've got a building skin for the Springfield Elementary, which is very odd, but whatever. This is the Springfield Elementary Black History Month sign. I mean, I don't hate this. I don't like this. I mean, I don't think it's great. I'm just kind of indifferent about it. It's fine as a first prize, I guess. And it kind of sets the update up. It would have been better if it was just free, though. Like, I don't know why they don't do this anymore. Sometimes, like, updates in the past, they start an event with, like, a decoration or a skin or a character sometimes. With, like, Norbert Van Houten, for example. Although you didn't unlock him as a proper playable character until after on. You know, he was around the town and he had, like, quests and stuff. It would be kind of cool if they just started the update with this banner and then give us another first prize. It's a nice way of kind of starting the event, and plus you don't have to actually do anything to get it. Like, it's just given to you. That way I wouldn't be so critical of it. Whereas it's nothing amazing. I mean, it's just a banner over the Springfield Elementary, which you're never going to use again. You're going to get rid of it eventually. I mean, maybe when Black History Month rolls around next year, you'll put it back on, if you remember you have it. So, like, I'm just really indifferent about it, to be honest. And then we have decorations. Oh boy, I do not like this update for its decorations. So the only one I could say I kind of like is the I guess the traveling circus and Mabel's wagon, and I would say maybe adult skateboards, but honestly I'm not that big of a fan of that either. So we have the adult skateboards, of course, presidential kids, or crowd of presidential kids, crowd of bullies, the bully bus, the traveling circus, the crematorium bot, and Mabel's wagon. This crematorium bot is a reskin animation, if you will. It's very similar to another decoration we've got. Sorry, I should say decoration. The adult skateboards is kind of crummy. It's nothing amazing, and it's really small and weird. Crowd of presidential kids. I hate this because it has Janie. As you can see here, right here, Janie is in the crowd. That's annoying as hell. Because she's already in the game. Also, I'm not a massive fan of these crowds, as I've ranted on in the past about. The crowd of bullies, like, I don't know, and it's even more annoying because this one here, and I think this one here, yeah, these two here are on top of the bus, for Christ's sake. So why did we have the bus? It just really annoys me how, like, these two characters are on the bus anyway. So we've had these characters twice. Like, it's just minor things like this that really piss me off, and it's, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it. Bully Bus is okay, I guess. If this didn't exist, I would kind of be meh about it, but I kind of hate it now because I've just noticed this, actually. These two characters are already here. Yeah, so the only two I really like, I guess, are Traveling Circus and the Wagon. This is a trend with the recent updates. The decorations have been lacking, and I think this is partially because it's hard to kind of tie in decorations into updates, and I get that. I understand that it's kind of hard to add some new cool fresh animation decorations when, you know, like, the ones in the base game are there already. Like, I mean, personally I would kind of like it if they would add some, like, traffic lights. You know, there's other things they could definitely do. Different kind of trees, different bushes. I like it when they add that kind of stuff. It freshens up your town instead of using the same generic stuff. Fences is another thing. I would like some more kind of different fences. But yeah, they obviously haven't done that, which is a shame. So I think the update gets a thumbs down for decorations. Then we have consumables. Of course, you have this token, which, I don't know, I'm starting to get a bit annoyed with the whole token things. I was fine with it at first. I'm kind of accepting of it, I guess, if it's only done once per act. But it is getting annoying. And of course, if you get this token, you can unlock this chest where you can get some returning stuff, or you can get donuts with it. And then finally, animations. I thought I'd make a slide on that and talk about them. First of all, we have this one for Martin, which is the Martin's Presents Presents History Project animation job, where he is the continent of Africa. It's a kind of funny little animation. And then we have Carl's Spend Time with Dad animation job, which obviously goes right outside the cave. I kind of like this one, it was okay. But it is weird that we got two animations in this update. Like I said, my opinions on animations, or like I've said in the past I should say, my opinions on animations are this. If it's for a character that's already in the game prior to the update, then I'm okay with it. But it is annoying they did it twice. I would have preferred it if they only did it once. Honestly, I don't think this animation for Carl is necessary entirely, although I don't mind it. I think the Africa one for Martin would have been was kind of cool. Although I will say I would have preferred if it was a costume. Yes, there may have been lacking in terms of animated jobs that they could have given it. But I will say this: Tapped Out has done it multiple times where they give unique animation jobs for characters that weren't in the show. The Monkey Paw Salesman is a great example of this. The animations he has in the game are completely original. They are not seen in the show. So they definitely could have made it a costume for sure. So that comes to the end screen. So what is my opinions of the update as a whole? Well, I will say this. The one thing that this update has done really, really good is story, structure, and just the overall kind of theme of the event. The theme is on point. The structure and questline, I think, is on point, although at parts they kind of loosely tie stuff in, and I still stand by that. But then this is just a recurring thing with a lot of updates. They really loosely tie in certain buildings, like the Creatious Park, and there was things of that in Aids and Toyland as well, where they loosely tied things in. But I think overall, like I said, the structure is there. The theme is really there, and I love it. And I love the fact that they highlighted characters like Dr. Hibbert, Carl, and Lou. It was really refreshing not having Homer lead the event, or Lisa, or Bart, or a character that we know, and Homer always takes the lead for updates, and it annoys me because it gets boring so quickly. Also, it must be quite tedious for players even who are leveling up, because you often need those characters to level up. So that must be really tedious for you guys. But that being said, the content is lacking. And I think that's my biggest issue with this update, is the lacking in content. I was quick to praise this update in terms of its theme, in terms of its structure, in terms of its kind of quest line and its story. It's good in that aspects, but it really does lack in terms of content. Characters aren't amazing, although I think the characters is definitely not bad. I think it's not great. It's not amazing. Well, I should say it's not amazing. It's good though. I think they are kind of good. The buildings are lacking, and the ones we do have aren't amazing, apart from maybe one or two exceptions. The animations are trash. Like apart from one or two, the animations are trash. They really are. And yeah, we have obviously the tokens and animations on top. So I just think really this update kind of fails in content, but everything else apart from the content is great about this about this update. Because what I was going to say is it's almost like the 8th season of Game of Thrones. Everything in that season is amazing, other than the story. It's like the vice versa, where everything in this update is... the story in this update is amazing, but everything else is awful. So it's the vice versa of Game of Thrones Season 8. Yeah, I think that's my opinions on the update. It's weird. I think we'll have to see the incoming year, and see the other updates in the kind of year, the months to come, and this year of 2020. We'll have to see what they are like and how they compare to this update. In terms of a first year update, I don't think it was terrible. It didn't ruin the year or anything. I think it's so far okay. We'll just have to see how this fares in the future. But so far, I think if I was to give it a thumbs down or thumbs up, it's really tricky for me, because this update is so weird. Because often, say for example, going back to last year, Simpsons Babies, that was had some good stuff in it. It was good for buildings, but the story and the characters were just a thumbs down for me. Whereas the buildings were great. That was a real redeeming factor. This update is kind of similar in the fact that the story is great, but the rest is not. Anyway, I've rambled on a little bit too long here, so I'm going to cut it here. Tell me your thoughts on the update as a whole, and yeah, I shall see you next video. I'll try and respond to your comments, or at least give them a heart to let you know I've read them. And yeah, I'll see you next video. Goodbye.